I love the title Hot Touch for this exhibition because, as well as being very serious and making you think about sculpture and sculptors and what sculpture does and how sculptors touch things and how you might think about touching something at an exhibition, it's also a little bit cheeky. It was great to work with Eva on this exhibition because it was a really hard exhibition for us. We never put anything in these galleries before, and we didn't know what it was going to look like. And because the galleries are at different angles and they don't have right angles, they have a very strange reaction to artwork. So when we would put something conventionally in a gallery, say directly in relation to a wall, here if you do that it looks a little bit skew-iff and strange. And working with someone like Eva was fantastic because her work is about how the objects relate to each other, not just how they exist on their own. So the exhibition is about seeing the objects and the connections that you can make and that are made formally and imaginatively between all those works and how that they sit in the space as well.
It's fascinating how space does open up in her work. These are not monumental sculptures at all, and I think there's an interesting relationship into some of the Barbara Hepworth pieces adjacent to this gallery and how Hepworth pierced right through the solid object to open up sculptural space. And you're certainly seeing Eva in a very different way opening up the notion of a plinth, these pylon-like forms you find in these galleries, the way they're holding aloft these pierced ceramic pieces. It's an intriguing moment where you do get a very porous sense of the sculptures. When Eva, even when she uses industrial processes and fabrication to produce elements for her work, there's always this sense of touch and physicality implied. The hand and that coordination between hand and eye is always paramount for sculptors. It was certainly paramount for Barbara Hepworth in developing her forms and the progression of her sculpture throughout her life, and I think it's very much there in Eva's work too.
Eva's work is often described as magic minimalism or messy minimalism, and I understand that as that she's interested in an idea of minimalism as a form of sculpture. So you might take a really simple shape like a pyramid or a black line, really minimal, and the idea is that you'd be able to understand what that is straight away. You just look at it and it's a visual awareness of what it is. And then she messes with it, or she makes it a little bit magic. So you might have a hoop and you can't tell how it's just magically suspended in the air. And so it's a very familiar form, it's a circle, and we all know what a circle looks like, but it's a circle that somehow appears to be floating. Or you might have a rectangle, a rug shape, I guess, at the same time, which is really familiar. But then you can't work out when you're looking at what the reflection is and where it begins and where it ends. So there's an idea that you take geometric shapes that are formal and clear, and you mess with them so that when a visitor comes to the exhibition, they're confused. And for just a minute, they're not sure what they're looking at and how it works. And there's a moment of kind of magic that happens there.